this is getting out of hand, and they are downright delusionals. Not only do we have multiple huge Jays updates ahead of the big game tonight, hopefully the series ender, but folks, we have some shocking allegations that have surfaced, some ridiculous rumors, allegations surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays that not only are you going to want to stay tuned for, but folks, these are downright ludicrous. Stay tuned for that in this episode, as well as a few other things. But before we get into it all, folks, you're going to want to stay tuned to the end of this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. Hopefully, we'll all be celebrating tonight a big ALDS series victory, but we have a job to do. The Jays, that is, they have a job to do. And us as fans, we have a job to do, and that's support the Jays. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. And make sure to hit the subscribe button if you are, folks. I want to dive into a few different things today. Now, we do have some updates from John Schneider, some comments from the players, and they look very locked in, right? A lot more locked in than the Yankees do. Before I get into that, there's something that needs to be addressed here. There has been a lot of accusations from Yankees fans, from Yankees, like I think the Yes Network, all these things surrounding the Toronto Blue Jays cheating. And yes, I'm just going to use this tweet because it encompasses how ridiculous this is. Now, this is from a Twitter account. It gained a bunch of traction. We have some comments from Michael K. And you're going to want to stay tuned to the end because it is as crazy as it sounds. So basically what's happening, in case you missed it, Yankees fans are accusing the Jays of, and reporters, I think, too, writers and people, correct me if I'm wrong down below, or correct me rather if you know the exact names of some of the writers and reporters that did, but they're accusing the Jays of cheating mainly because of their home and road splits. And we know how good the Jays are at Rogers Center. You can see this here. It has gone as far as accusations. Yes, folks, it has gone as far as accusations about them using a camera in center field like they used to do way back when with the man, and I think it was the white shirt or the red shirt. And you can see here they used to do it when A-Rod was playing. Absolutely ludicrous. They're saying the Jays are not only cheating illegally, pulling some Astro stuff, but that they're using cameras in center field to steal signs. It has gotten to the point now where Yankees fans have, at least some of them, not all of them. I'm not speaking. If you're a Yankees fan, you're not doing this, obviously, right? It's not everybody, but I do have to bring it up because it's gotten a ton of traction, and obviously we cover the latest news, so I have to talk about it. Folks, they're saying that the Jays are stealing signs, when in reality, the pitching has been horrible for the Yankees, and the Jays hitters have been great. It has gone as far as as Michael K coming out, of course, the announcer for the Yankees, who has had some beef with Toronto, saying they're not a first-place team, all these different things, and he basically just said, is stupid, right? Discusses the Blue Jays are cheating narrative and how those claims are absolutely baseless. And he basically went on to say that, I'll give you the full quote here. If you think something weird is going on in Toronto, prove it or shut up. If you have proof something is fishy is going on there, show us or shut up. Play better, because that's unfair to Toronto, who've outplayed you all season. For the first time in a while, I'm going to give some props to Michael K here. It is ludicrous to think that the Toronto Blue Jays are cheating, because for a bunch of different reasons. One, it's just not going to happen. Two, to try to insinuate that they are using a man in center field, just the most ridiculous thing ever, right? And you can see there in the bottom right, obviously it's there were so many different screenshots, but I'll read it briefly. You guys probably won't be able to read this, but I'm going to read it for you. ESPN published a report Wednesday, basically talking about how the Blue Jays were stealing signs. Now, this was way back. Keep in mind, this report was way back in the mid-2010s, and people were trying to use that now against the Jays, saying they saw someone in the middle. I'm pretty sure it's just a cameraman or an audio guy. It is hilarious. And genuinely hilarious. And it's delusional. It's all these different things. But I wanted to bring it up because of how funny it is. And the most ironic thing about it all is that John Schneider confirmed yesterday that Seranthony Dominguez was the one tipping pitches. And it wasn't the Jays stealing signs. And he didn't say anything about the Jays stealing signs. But folks, during Seranthony Dominguez's appearance here in yesterday night's game to close the game, you can see here, looking at it, you've got to do a good job of being clean, being tight. It's part of the game. We'll look at it and make any adjustments we need to make and try to keep them off second. So this all stemmed from a tweet from Andy Marino, I believe it was, saying, basically that you can see there from Gary Phillips' video, it suggests Andy is correct, as Aaron Judge can be seen tapping his helmet on 3 straight splitters from Seranthony Dominguez during Ben Rice's at-bat yesterday, which ended in a walk. So they were tipping. Now, this is completely legal. The Yankees are not breaking any rules. Obviously, the Jays were getting accused of breaking rules by a bunch of people, but I just wanted to bring this up because it's ironic. The Jays were actually tipping pitches, and it's good they found it in a blowout game now, because the Yankees have been struggling mightily with the splitter, and to have Seranthony Dominguez, who has one, if that was getting tipped into, let's say Yankee Stadium in a close game, that would be brutal. The Yankees didn't even score a run despite having that tip. So shout out to Michael K, surprisingly, And there's been some, I guess, memes, some funny things going on here. You can see right there, another tweet. The Toronto Blue Jays have been found guilty of stealing signs with the camera in center field for the entirety of 2025. A dead giveaway of a team cheating is when you sign a 44 home run bat and sign stealing costs him to post a 565 OPS. Obviously, this guy's making fun of the Yankees tweet, which is perfectly fine and pretty hilarious. They aren't cheating. And let's get out of that narrative. It discounts the Jays. And if Jays fans were saying, if the Yankees were cheating, because, if the Yankees were up 2-0 or vice versa, I'd be saying the same thing. I'd be saying it's stupid because, like Michael Kay said, you're discounting the Blue Jays in this case, and you'd be discounting the Yankees if you accuse them the other way. It's stupid, and there's nothing to prove. It's not happening. They're a really good home team. They have great home advantage. You can use a bunch of different factors, whether it be the best crowd in baseball, whether it be the turf, which some people are uncomfortable with. The Yankees use that as an excuse as to why they got swept back in the middle of the season. They said part of it was because of the turf. Ludicrous, but it's hilarious, and it's getting out of hand and a little bit delusional, and I wanted to bring that up for you all. But let's reel back our delusion, or their delusion, I guess, in here, and reel back our minds to the beast of a team the Toronto Blue Jays is ahead of the game tonight. Now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was asked about his emotions yesterday during a press conference and said, "My emotions are neutral right now. It's not time to put your head down. It's not over. I mean, there's a lot of work to do." And this mindset initially sparked by George Springer yesterday, basically saying, we got to go. Like, we got to keep winning. It's perfect. You cannot take it to a lead for granted. The Yankees, I think, have had 14 different 3-game win streaks throughout the entirety of last year. They could easily pull one off now. Now, easily, meaning it won't be easy. That was a bit of a, not hyperbole, but it's very possible. And if the Jays get unfocused here, this could unravel quickly. Not saying it will. I'm not being pessimistic, but you have to stay locked in. And that's why quotes like this are going to be very, very big, especially for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who was 10 for 17 against Carlos Rodon in his career with 3 doubles, a homer, 5 RBIs, 4 walks, 0 strikeouts. And I suspect the Jays will employ a very similar starting lineup to what they did in the game a couple of days ago. But with the exception, I would assume they give Anthony Santander in instead of IKF. You throw David Schneider at second base instead of IKF. You put Santander in right, and of course you put Straw in left, Varsho in center. That would be my guess for the lineup tonight. But I digress. Either way, it works. IKF had some horrible at bats, but you can keep, of course, the pinch hitting option open for a lot of these guys. I'm ready to go, right? And Max Scherzer spoke out recently and actually talked about giving advice to Shane Bieber and people like that. And he said somebody gave him bad advice in the past, saying that, basically sent him down the wrong path. They're going to be so amped up, Scherzer recalled being told, make sure you come out calm, try to be as calm as possible. Scherzer rebutted that and said he won't be telling, I guess in this case, Shane Bieber to calm down. That's not how Scherzer survived the Bronx. Pitching in the playoffs, just be who you are. Are you a high adrenaline guy? Good. Use adrenaline. Are you an ice water guy? Good. Do that. And this kind of encompasses, and this, this quote necessarily doesn't change much, doesn't change everything, as I might say. But what it does is it encompasses how good this team is. And from a leadership perspective, we know that Trey Savage talked to a bunch of the different veterans, and the veterans came up to him. Chris Bassett, obviously, Shane Bieber now, another huge addition. Max Scherzer, all these different guys, Kevin Gausman, José Berríos, all these different guys. Bowden Francis, not a veteran, but he's been around a little bit. Not very long at all, and probably wasn't talked to by Bowden Francis, but maybe he was. And they prepared him for what a playoff atmosphere is like. And now Scherzer can bring that down and pass that along to Shane Bieber, who has also started one game in the past in the Bronx. He's ready to go, and everyone is ready to go at this point. And regarding Shane Bieber, it is going to be really interesting to see what happens with him tomorrow. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Bieber's splits, he does really good against lefties, really rough against righties. So he's going to have to find a way to get those righties out tomorrow. You would assume they're going to employ a left-handed dominant lineup, but I would suspect they put in Paul Goldschmidt instead of Ben Rice, but maybe they keep Ben Rice in for that short porch in right, and they put Paul Goldschmidt in instead of Austin Wells, and of course move Ben Rice to catcher, Paul Goldschmidt to first. There's a lot of ways they can go about it. I'm not too worried about what the Yankees are doing right now, but how Shane Bieber limits his hard contact against righties is going to be crucial. Keep the ball in the yard. And the most important thing here, which they've done every game so far this series, get the lead early, take the lead early, and just go for it and go for the win. Vladdy ready to go. He crushes in Yankee Stadium, and put all these cheating allegations to rest. So folks, let me know down below your thoughts are. Things are getting ridiculous. Hopefully we'll be celebrating our first division, or I guess our first playoff series win in a very long time together on this channel. But thank you guys for watching. You guys are beasts. Whew, excited for tonight.